The Courthouse Cafeteria was supposed to be neutral ground. No gavels, no verdicts, just the low hum of conversation, the scent of burnt coffee, and the quiet clatter of trays against plastic tables. But that illusion shattered the moment a uniformed officer stormed through the doors, his boots echoing too loud, his presence too aggressive for a place meant to be calm. Heads turned. Conversations died mid-sentence. At a corner table near the window, a woman sat alone, stirring her coffee slowly, her posture straight, her expression unreadable. She wore no robe, no badge of authority, just a simple navy blazer and glasses resting low on her nose. To anyone else, she looked like just another professional grabbing a late lunch. But she wasn't. And the man walking toward her had no idea. "Ma'am!" the officer barked, loud enough to command attention across the room. "Stand up, now!" The woman didn't move right away. She lifted her eyes slowly, meeting his with a calm that felt almost unsettling. Around them, courthouse staff, clerks, attorneys, deputies, froze, sensing something unfolding that didn't belong in daylight. "Is there a problem, officer?" she asked, her voice level, almost soft. That tone irritated him. "There's a big problem," he snapped. "You're under arrest." Gasps rippled through the cafeteria. The woman blinked once. That was it. No panic. No outrage. "On what charge?" she asked. The officer stepped closer, jaw tight, anger simmering just beneath the surface. "Fraud, abuse of authority. You think you can just ruin people's lives and walk away." Now there was something deeper in his voice, personal, bitter. The woman studied him carefully. The tension in his shoulders. The way his hand hovered too close to his holster. The flicker of something unresolved behind his eyes. "I'm going to need you to be specific," she said. He laughed. A short, sharp sound. "Oh, I'll be specific. You remember Officer Daniel Hayes? Ring a bell?" A few people in the room exchanged looks. The woman's expression didn't change, but inside, something clicked. "Yes," she said simply. "Yeah, I thought so." His voice hardened. "My partner, 20 years on the force, and you destroyed him, sentenced him like he was some kind of criminal." The word hung heavy. Criminal. The irony was almost too sharp to ignore. "I sentenced him based on evidence presented in court," she replied calmly. "Evidence?" he shot back. "That case wiped him out. His reputation, his career, everything. $8.4 million in damages, gone. You think that was justice?" The room felt smaller now, tighter. The woman placed her spoon down gently, the faint clink echoing louder than it should. "What I think," she said, "is irrelevant. What matters is the law." That was the wrong answer, at least to him. "Stand up," he repeated louder this time. "Hands where I can see them." A courthouse deputy near the entrance took a hesitant step forward. "Officer, maybe we should—" "Stay out of this," he snapped without even looking. The woman rose slowly, deliberately. Her movements were controlled, measured. Not the hesitation of someone afraid, but the precision of someone calculating. "Before we go any further," she said, "I would advise you to reconsider your actions." That only made him angrier. "Oh, I've reconsidered plenty," he replied. "You didn't show my partner any mercy. Why should I show you any?" He reached for his cuffs. Metal clicked. The sound cut through the room like a warning. But the woman didn't flinch. Instead, she turned slightly, her gaze shifting. Not to him, but past him. Toward the security cameras, toward the witnesses, toward the system itself. Inside her mind, everything was aligning. Timing, procedure, exposure. "Officer," she said quietly, "do you have a warrant?" He hesitated, just for a second, but it was enough. "I don't need one," he said quickly. Too quickly. That was mistake number one. "And probable cause?" she continued. His grip tightened on the cuffs. "I have enough." Mistake number two. By now, more people had gathered. Phones were out, recording. The deputy stepped forward again, more urgent this time. Sir, you really need to... I said stand down, the officer roared, and that was mistake number 3. The woman exhaled slowly. Then, with complete composure, she spoke the words that changed everything. Officer, she said, her voice carrying across the room without rising. You are attempting to arrest a sitting federal judge inside a courthouse without a warrant, without jurisdiction, and without probable cause. Silence. Heavy, immediate, absolute. The officer froze. What? He said. She reached into her blazer, not quickly, not threateningly, and produced a small leather wallet. Inside, a badge, an identification card. She held it up. Judge Evelyn Carter, United States District Court. The name hit the room like a shockwave. A clerk dropped a tray. It clattered loudly against the floor. The officer stared at the badge, then at her, then back again. No, that's... he stammered. But it was real. Every bit of it. And suddenly, the power dynamic flipped so fast it left him off balance. You're... He couldn't even finish the sentence. Yes, she said calmly. The cuffs in his hand felt heavier now. Useless. Dangerous. Behind him, courthouse security was already moving. Fast. Coordinated. A senior marshal stepped in, voice sharp and controlled. Officer, step away, now! The officer didn't move. Not yet. His mind was scrambling, trying to reconcile what he'd just done with what it meant. This is a misunderstanding, he said. But the confidence was gone. Judge Carter didn't raise her voice, didn't need to. What this is, she said, is an unlawful attempt to detain a federal official motivated by personal grievance in direct violation of constitutional protections. Each word landed like a gavel strike. The marshal stepped closer. Sir, I'm giving you a lawful order. Drop the cuffs and step back. Slowly, reluctantly, the officer obeyed. The cuffs lowered. His shoulders sank. And just like that, the man who had walked in with authority now stood surrounded by it. Within minutes, the cafeteria transformed into a controlled scene. Statements were taken, body cameras were secured, witnesses were identified, and the officer was escorted out, not as an authority figure, but as a subject. Days later, the footage surfaced. Every second of it, the aggression, the accusations, the moment everything unraveled. The public reaction was swift, unforgiving. Investigations launched immediately, not just into the incident, but into the officer's conduct history. What they found made it worse. Patterns of behavior, complaints buried under paperwork, warnings ignored, and now undeniable proof. He was suspended, then charged. Official misconduct, abuse of power, attempted unlawful detention. But it didn't stop there, because his actions had exposed something bigger, a system that needed correction. In court, the roles were reversed. He stood where defendants stand, under oath, under scrutiny. Judge Carter didn't preside over the case. She didn't have to. The law handled it, and it handled it completely. The verdict came down with precision. Guilty, termination from service, loss of pension. A sentence that ensured accountability, not just for what he did, but for why he did it. As for his former partner, the case that started it all was reopened under public pressure, and once again, the evidence spoke for itself. The original ruling stood, because justice isn't about emotion, it's about truth. Months later, the courthouse felt different, stronger, more aware. Policies had changed, training improved, oversight tightened. All because one moment, one decision, exposed everything that needed to be fixed. Judge Carter returned to her bench. Same calm presence, same unwavering standard. Because that's what justice looks like when it's done right. And if this story showed you how quickly power can be abused and how firmly it can be corrected, tell me what you think in the comments. Would you have recognized the line before it was crossed? Don't forget to like, share this story, and subscribe for more real stories where truth always finds its way to the surface.